working on reducing down the fee from 12% to 8%.
Okay.
We are looking to, as a next step, also remove the 2.75% processing fee and place it on the member half so that the host doesn't have to pay for that. And so what PadSplit had to look at as we're growing and scaling as a company is we need to be able to pay for marketing. We're needing to grow.
It costs money to operate, right?
Correct.
We're running a business.
And currently now...
not a nonprofit.
Exactly.
Currently right now is that you don't value members if it's just coming to you. And so as PadSplit fills your house up, you might turn and burn your members.
Yeah.
Not valuing, obviously, that person that just moved in. And so we want to change our focus and pivot towards you wanting to retain that person and then keep them for as long as possible.
Let me hold you right there. What did I tell you earlier?
You want them to stay there long term?
I have that mindset. Because if you're constantly having people move out.
Telling you at the property without you knowing it, I'm like, you're going to want to value tenure moving forward, and what you're saying is absolutely right.
Ultimately, it's an advantage for the host. Less turnover, it's just
less cleaning.
Better.
But
it's more money.
Does it come out like, so I know you said they're lowering it to about 8%, and you're trying to put that 2.75% on the member, right?
Right.
Correct. There's a
what's going to be like
there. It's not just 8%. Technically, it's going to be the first 10 days of a new member moving
I read
in.
that. Yeah.
So PadSplit keeps that portion of it.
Wait, per room?
Per room.
Per member.
So
Per
if
member.
you logically think it, let me step back. PadSplit's not going to change your fee structure in the middle of your lease. If you have a lease with PadSplit and it ends in a year from now.
Oh, so I'll still be on the about 15%.
So
Correct.
even with the jacks, let's say you on board early next year, you're still going to keep.
I'll be within the 15% bracket. Got it.
So you have time to sit down and look at it and go, does this mathematically look
Makes
good?
sense.
What pivots are they making? What adjustments are they making?
And how am I going to make adjustments as a host as well?
Correct.
Gotcha.
And you can buy down the rate as well. So if you notice that in your property, that guy who just moved into your property, let's say that he's still there next year. And you're like, this guy intends to be here for like 3 years. Fantastic. I want to take advantage of this 8%. Let me buy this down. And they give you the option to go ahead and do 10 days worth of income and then buy his rate down at 8%. But you're not forced, as long as that person's living there, and let's say they're there for 5 years, even though we've changed models as a company, you're still the 12% until you do the buy down.
Yeah. So for the new business model, so I understand correctly. So let's say I have 5 bedrooms and each one is 100% occupied. You guys would take the first 10
days of
occupancy fees,
Yep.
right? So if they're there for 10 weeks, you guys are going to get the first 10 weeks of pay.
10
Correct.
days. 10 days.
10 days.
Correct.
10 days of pay. So, and then there's a fee in addition to that.
And then
that would
8%.
8%.
be the 8% fee.
Of monthly income.
What does the total come to? Have you looked at it or no? Have you?
No, that's
So right now the total's roughly about 15%. What does the total come to?
Yeah, we haven't looked at it.
Because I looked at, so based on my analysis, I'm paying PadSplit on these properties that the one I just launched, they're going to be about 800 to almost $1,000 a month that I'm paying them, right?
Yep.
And so obviously I have to incorporate that into my operating expenses, plus power, plus cable or internet, not cable. I don't do utilities, lawn care. It adds up really quickly.
Yep.
And that's why I said, like, if you're using a bank in today's market, there's no way that you can scale this, because there's just so many operating expenses. You're left with nothing.
Right.
So you have to lock up deals creatively.
Right.
And if you're not locking them up creatively, I don't know how you're making money, right? You're just doing it just to do it. And so, just like PadSplit, I'm not running a nonprofit, but at the same time, I do want to be able to help, the community have affordable housing.
Correct.
So the 15%, I'm, about 15%,
Yep.
approximately, I'm 100% comfortable with, and it made sense for me.
Yep.
So when I'm getting this one done, because I remember you referred me to the guy who's doing property management, I wasn't really sure how I can plug him in just yet. Mm-hmm. I wanted to kind of get the property 100% occupied.
I'm with you.
I understand how to manage people already, and I can get one of my VAs to work within,
That's right.
there a lot cheaper, because at that point it's just kind of communication, right?
Well, that might be a business that you grow out for yourself at the end of the day.
Exactly. So it might be a potential business because on the
Right.
short-term rental side, obviously I do co-hosting as well, and I have a co-hosting management businesses there. So I could grow that out. I've already thought of that. I'm, you know me, I'm
Oh, I
like
know.
Mr. Entrepreneur, like, you know. But it's interesting. So I'll have to run the numbers, going back to the fee structure, I'll have to run the numbers and see what it looks like. Have you guys ran the numbers on yours or no?
On
No, we
ours,
haven't.
Are
no.
you, is it just so new we don't know?
It's new that they're doing one-on-one consultations on your portfolio, and it usually you have to look at something that's been on the platform for a year.
Got it.
To really
You need
analyze it
data.
well.
You need data.
And
Correct.
and the other part is that since the value is in keeping the people longer, if you are a host that is always having a room change because your property's not, obviously up to par,
Set up for
then
tenure.
it's not going to be as profitable for you because you're always doing 10 days.
Yeah.
But if you're retaining people for an extended period of time because it's a nice setting and obviously area and a bunch of other factors, then you only pay the 10 days and then it's 8% the rest of the year.
Yeah.
I think this is just
So you're
gonna,
saving
you
significant.
are. And this is going to weave out the
The
hosts
people
that
aren't serious.
the hosts that are just there to put
I like
any
that.
bed.
I like that.
any-
Good point.
You know, and I think this is going to just bring a different level of hosting
Yep.
and better member experience,
Yep.
which improves the product significantly
Yep.
as well.
And at the end of the day, going to the flip side of what I talked about like city ordinances and like neighbors, if neighbors see consistency in the property,
Right.
it's going to give them a different outlook.
That's complete.
Like we
That's
have a
the
Bob,
third.
we got a Joe, we got a Susie, we got a Tom, and we got a Jerry at this property. They've been living there for
And
8,
it's
9
stable.
months.
Yep.
We can see this isn't transient housing.
Right.
So it also gives them a different outlook on the property if you have
Correct.
higher retention. I want my neighbors to know that I have all these people living here for the last 8, 9 months.
Yeah.
Right? That this is not a transient housing, because I think that's where people get disrupted a lot more is like, hey, I've been living in this neighborhood for 15, 20 years.